Standard 6A, know and understand how to assess the relevant subject and curriculum areas, including statutory assessment requirements. So here is a PowerPoint presentation and lesson that I taught to Year 11 back in October. This was in preparation for their mock, which they did at the beginning of December, the focus of which is on Weimar, Germany. So there is one 4-mark question, one 9-mark question, one 12-mark question, and another 9-mark. Here is an example of the 4-mark question we gave them. So what can you learn from the source about the effects of hyperinflation in Germany? So you obviously need to look at the source and then extract the information from that, and we gave them 6 minutes to write their answer. Here's a copy of the mark scheme. So 1 to 2 marks is a simple statement, 3 to 4 marks is a more developed statement. So the idea here is they go through and answer each of the questions, and then what they do is they peer mark within the classroom. Now for the 4-mark question, it's relatively straightforward in terms of the marks that you would give, but when you look at the 9-mark question, so choose one and explain the effects of the term on Germany, so either reparations or loss of land, the answer gets slightly more developed and it's slightly trickier to get or give a mark based on what they have written. But we've got the mark scheme here, which says 1 to 3 marks is a generalised statement with little specific content, 4 to 6 is a descriptive answer, which will state but not examine the effects of the terms, and then 7 to 9 marks is the focus is on the effects of the terms on Germany. So we've got the mark scheme available for each of the questions that we set them. Now this is a really useful tool, getting the pupils to peer assess, because they can have a look at what their classmates have written, see a different style of writing, and then use that either in their own work. If they see something that they think that's a good idea, they can use that in their own work. But also it's good for them to look at the mark scheme and know what they need to do in order to get those higher grade boundaries as well. What I've also got here is the Year 11 mock exam, which they did in December, just recently. So here you can see what can you learn from source A about the appeal of the Knights Party in the 1930s. And then again, you've got the mark scheme. So 1 to 2 marks is a simple statement, 3 to 4 is a more developed statement. It's really useful for me to go and look through the mark scheme, because although I'm not marking Year 11 exams at the moment, this is something that I will come on to, and to get an idea of what pupils need to do in order to get those higher marks. It's really useful for myself and for my teaching for the future. I also attended a standardisation session where all the members of the department got together. We marked a paper. We went through it, just to see what we would have given it, and then we compared to see if we're on the right track. And it's always good to make sure that you are marking fairly and marking the same. You know, if there's a difference potentially on the 9-mark question of maybe 1 or 2 marks, it's not the end of the world, but it's always good to make sure that you're marking fairly so that everyone in the year group understands what they need to do in terms of getting those higher marks. In terms of my teaching for the future, like I say, this is something that I will come on to marking. At the moment I'm doing the books for the Year 8, 9s and 10s, but obviously the further down my teaching career I go, I will be expected to look at mock exams, controlled assessments. So the earlier I look at it and earlier look at the mark scheme, the easier it will become in the future.